Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing a product review on this foundation by Rimmel London. So this foundation is the Lasting Matte Lightweight Mousse Foundation. This is a full coverage mattifying foundation and this contains 30 ml. I have got two shades here. These were sent to me in PR. I actually got three, but the other one was like way too light. So I have got 305 Buff and I've also got 404 Sun Beige. If you guys are looking for like a color comparison, I'm roughly NC30 from MAC. That's a little bit tan for me. So if you guys find NC30 a little bit too tan for you, then maybe 305 is the best match for you. If you guys feel like NC30 is perfect, then go for 405 Sun Beige. Okay, so before we dive into this foundation, I need to let you guys know what my skin wants and needs are, so you guys know if this foundation review is going to align with your wants and needs. So a little bit about myself. I am a male, 30 years old. I have got fine lines, wrinkles, I've got large pores, I've got textural issues, especially here with the 5 o'clock shadow, and obviously facial hair poking out throughout the day. I have normal skin and I would say a slightly oilier T-zone. Gets worse in particular during the summer or if I am spending my time indoors with the heating on. In terms of what I look for in a foundation, I prefer medium to full coverage foundations or buildable at the very least. In terms of finish, I do prefer demi-mattes to dewy foundations, and in terms of longevity isn't really a big thing for me because I rarely wear foundation for that long these days, but I would say, you know, a decent amount of time for me would be around 6 hours with the possibility of touching up to extend it to another like 8 or 10 hours, but yeah, those are pretty much my wants and needs. All right, now let's dive into the promises. I'm currently on Priceline Australia's website, and it looks like they have 8 shades available of this foundation. I'm not sure if that's just for Priceline or if that's in general, and it retails for $17.95. So let's read the promises. It says this is a long-lasting, ultra-mattifying, lightweight mousse foundation that provides full coverage and blends flawlessly for natural-looking skin and all-day shine control. It says it's suitable for oily and acne-prone skin. This foundation banishes shine, instantly hides blemishes, spots, dark circles, long-lasting, lightweight, leaves the skin truly mattified, feeling soft, and provides a flawless base for your makeup. Its mousse texture doesn't dry or leave the skin feeling heavy or cakey, and is sweat and humidity proof for matte coverage for all that lasts all day. So this foundation contains 30 ml of product, which is pretty much the standard amount that you get in most foundations. Now with that out of the way, what do I think about this foundation? I personally really like this foundation. It is probably one of the best recent releases here in Australia in terms of the drugstore for foundations. It's like one of the best, I have to say. I really like the formula. This is definitely one of those foundations, whenever I do wear it, I do get a lot of compliments on my skin. I don't know, the older I get, the more I appreciate sort of like foundations that make my skin look plump and dewy. This is definitely one of those foundations that make your skin look quite plump. If you're quite young, you probably won't understand what I'm talking about, but when I say plump, it just makes your skin look like it's very nice and hydrated, and you've got amazing skincare. Like, that's the best way I can put it. This foundation just blows my mind. When I first received it, I read all these promises, and as soon as I saw matte, I was just like, I am probably not going to like it. Like I said, I do prefer demi-mattes to dewy finish foundations, simply because I've had horrible experiences with matte foundations in the past. When I say horrible experiences, the traditional matte foundations, they're like super drying, they cling to dry patches, they make your pores look humongous, they sit in your fine lines and creases like laugh lines, and it just looks like a horrible cakey mess. This foundation, on the other hand, is one of the new age matte foundations, and I also really like the fact that it's a mousse, because I find that mousse foundations that are sort of like matte definitely give a really nice finish to the skin. If you guys are looking for another foundation that has a very similar sort of like consistency and very similar look on the skin, I would say the Tarte Amazonian Clay is very similar, except I feel like this one's a little bit thicker in the sense like it's more of a mousse, whereas the Amazonian Clay one tends to be a little bit more runny. like they're still mousses, but one's slightly runnier. You get the point. So obviously at the moment I have just applied the makeup. I've got some highlighter. I did use a setting spray. I used the Makeup Revolution or Revolution Hyaluronic Fix, so hydrating and plumping makeup fixing spray. I don't really feel like it does too much to alter the finish of the foundation, but you can probably tell that the rest of my face is quite matte. I mean, obviously I've got highlighter here, but the rest of the face looks quite matte, but it's not a flat matte finish, if that makes sense. That's also another thing why I don't really like traditional matte foundations. They just make your face just look really flat and just dull, whereas this foundation definitely gives you that very nice fresh, I just woke up with amazing skin sort of like look. That being said, I wouldn't say this foundation is the most natural looking on the skin. You can definitely tell I'm wearing makeup just simply because of how much coverage I've got, and you can definitely tell that there's like product on my skin. I'm not gonna lie, it's not one of those foundations that just looks like there's nothing on the skin. But as a person who likes to wear makeup on the thicker side of things, this is actually nice. It looks really good, and I wouldn't say I look cakey. There has been an occasion where I did get a little bit cakey around here, but that's because of how I color correct and how much product I pack on here. And sometimes I go a little bit overboard with the color corrector, and then I have to put on a lot of powder, and then I also have to put on a lot of foundation to kind of mask that. So that's more of a user error as opposed to the actual product itself, because the rest of the face has been absolutely fine. In terms of the application process, I prefer using a makeup sponge. Now, I have got enlarged pores, I am male, I've got fine lines and wrinkles. Honestly, the best way to apply foundation in general for me, and there are some exceptions to the rule, is always a beauty sponge. So I always go for a beauty sponge. I have used this foundation using a sort of like a kabuki type brush, something like this, and it does work as well. I don't find that it's overly streaky. Like, there are some streaks, but nothing that you can't buff out just by tapping or stippling. But yeah, I just prefer the look of the foundation once I've actually, you know, bounced a wet sponge on it. I just really like that effect. In terms of primer, what do I like to pair it up with? I tend to go for silicone-based primers, something that can really fill out the pores. I haven't really worn this foundation without primer. I rarely wear foundation without primer these days, just because I know and appreciate the effect of pore filling primers these days, and I didn't really want to wear this foundation, test this foundation outside of what I would normally do in my makeup routine. Now, in terms of longevity, I do feel like this foundation does last a decent amount of time. I didn't put this through like a long wear test or anything, but I would say the 6-8 hour mark, it still looked quite decent. I mean, I obviously had a little bit of oil in the T-zone, but it was fine, honestly. Like, I just needed to blot and add a little bit of powder in some spots, but it looked absolutely fine. I would say, you know, if I had to go out for drinks or anything like that after work, I would have looked presentable. That being said, because I'm also a nurse, sometimes I wear a mask and stuff like that. It's not transfer proof. It does move on the skin. I don't feel like it completely sets. So the moment you put on glasses, sunglasses, or you like touch your face, there's a little bit of leeway, but you know, if you put any amount of pressure, it's going to remove a decent amount of the foundation off the skin. Unlike liquid foundations where they kind of like seep into the skin, this one sort of sits on the skin, if that makes sense. But yeah, there you guys go. That is my review on this foundation from Rimmel London. I think it's a winner. I think it's a really good foundation. If you guys are looking for a new drugstore foundation, definitely check this one out from Rimmel London. If you guys would like to see my other product reviews, I'll have a playlist down in the description box down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button if you guys enjoy my content, if you guys want to see more of me. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.